What if I told you that Europe's most magical places aren't the ones on magazine covers, but those quietly tucked behind winding roads and mountain trails, far from the crowds? You've heard of Paris and Rome, but the real soul of Europe lives in its small towns, places so surreal and untouched they feel more like dreams than destinations. While most people chase crowded landmarks, just a few hours away are entire villages that look like fairy tales. Castles rising from cliffs, sunsets reflecting off lakes like golden mirrors. And here's the twist, many of these spots are easier to visit than you think. All you need are the right travel tips and a little curiosity. In this guide, you'll discover Europe's hidden gems, villages with cobblestone secrets, medieval marvels, and nature that feels like art. Whether you crave scenic beauty, cultural travel, or the kind of peace your soul's been begging for, this journey will change how you see the continent. So sit back, breathe deep, and get ready to meet small towns in Europe that feel too beautiful to be real. But they are. Once you know they exist, you'll never want to travel the same way again. This video showcases 50 stunning European villages, like Hallstatt, Austria, with its ancient salt mines, and Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Germany, famed for its perfectly preserved medieval charm. There's something magical about European villages frozen in time, where cobblestone paths whisper stories, and every wooden shutter holds a secret. Hallstatt isn't just a picturesque lakeside village, it's a living museum nestled between snow-capped peaks and a shimmering lake, home to salt mines dating back over 7,000 years. Imagine walking into a town that has seen empires rise and fall, yet still looks like a watercolor painting come to life. For travelers seeking more than a selfie spot, these places offer a deeper connection. Now picture Rothenburg ob der Tauber in Germany, a town that feels like stepping into a storybook, where every tower and timber-framed house seems to nod in agreement with history. It's the perfect place for those after a mix of cultural travel and scenic destinations, offering a visual and emotional escape from the fast-paced digital world. No notifications, no deadlines, just medieval towers and quiet morning walks with coffee in hand. This blend of nature and history is what makes these hidden gems so unforgettable. You're not just exploring buildings or snapping photos, you're walking through living, breathing cultural archives. Want to feel this firsthand? Spend 2 nights in a village instead of rushing through. Have breakfast where locals do, ask them about their festivals or the oldest house on the street. When you travel with presence and curiosity, every village opens up like a treasure chest. Hallstatt's Still Lake or Rothenburg's Christmas market isn't just a scenic destination, it becomes part of your own personal folklore. And just when you think you've seen the best, you'll stumble upon landscapes that make your jaw drop in awe. Europe's beauty isn't just tucked away in cathedrals and cobblestone alleys, it flows through glacial lakes, mountain cliffs, and seaside villages that leave you speechless. Annecy in the French Alps is a perfect example. Its clear lake waters reflect pastel-colored houses, swans glide under arching bridges, and snow-capped peaks stand like guardians in the distance. For lovers of nature and architecture, it's a fairy tale painted with alpine light. This isn't just a photo spot, it's a soul reset. Further south, Positano clings to the cliffs of the Amalfi Coast like a sun-kissed mosaic. Buildings stack up like colorful dominoes, cascading toward the turquoise sea. Every winding street smells of lemon and sea salt, while locals greet you like family. For a travel guide that combines romance, relaxation, and history, Positano delivers it all, alongside pasta that might just change your life. And then there's Rena, way up in Norway's Lofoten Islands. Arctic silence, midnight sun, and crimson fishermen's cabins create a blend of tranquility and contrast that's hard to explain. One moment you're sipping coffee in a cozy roorboot, the next you're kayaking beneath sheer cliffs rising from icy waters. It's where scenic destinations redefine your sense of scale and wonder. Each of these European villages offers something different, yet all tap into something primal, the need to feel small in the face of beauty. Whether you're chasing sunshine in Italy or northern lights in Norway, remember, the best places to visit are the ones that make you pause, breathe, and simply be. Gruyère's in Switzerland isn't just a name on a cheese wheel, it's a medieval village brimming with flavor, tradition, and a castle that watches over the town like a wise elder. Walking through its cobbled streets feels like stepping into a Renaissance canvas, where ancient doors open into art galleries, creperies, and wood-paneled inns that hum with heritage. You're not just sightseeing here, you're time traveling. Then there's Český Krumlov, nestled in the heart of the Czech Republic, spiraling around a river like a fairy tale labyrinth. It's no surprise this UNESCO site is a highlight on every cultural travel list. From the Baroque theater hidden inside its castle to artist painting by the Vltava River, everything here whispers stories from a different era. The past doesn't just live, it performs. These towns are more than just historical landmarks, they're keepers of legacy. The kind of legacy you feel in your bones as church bells echo off stone walls and traditions are passed down like heirlooms. Want to feel connected to something larger than life? Stay during one of their festivals, or take a walking tour led by a local historian who knows every corner and ghost tale by heart. In Portugal, Sintra rises from misty hills like a dream painted by a romantic. But its beauty isn't just in palaces or parks. It pulses through the rhythm of festivals that color the streets with life. From open-air concerts in front of the Palacio da Pena to local celebrations of harvest and saints, every event adds texture to this cultural travel experience. Visiting during festival season? Get ready to dance, eat, and feel like part of the family. Guimarães, often called the birthplace of Portugal, doesn't just celebrate its past, it brings it alive. Medieval fairs, knights in armor, and firelit parades take you centuries back. For travelers chasing authenticity and hidden gems, this is the kind of place where tradition isn't for tourists. It's the town's heartbeat. These festivals aren't just events, they're emotional experiences. You'll hear folk songs that haven't changed in generations, smell recipes from grandmother's kitchens, and maybe even find yourself in a spontaneous dance with strangers turned friends. Want to go deeper? Research local festival calendars and align your travel with the spirit of the season. Picture a village with no roads. In Giethoorn, Netherlands, boats float where cars should be. Locals glide silently through canals, and ducks are more common than horns. It's the definition of peaceful, offering a breath of fresh air for anyone seeking scenic destinations without the chaos of modern noise. Want to embrace the calm? Rent a whisper boat and cruise like a local. Then there's Civita di Bagnoregio in Italy, a town so dramatic it's only reachable by a footbridge suspended over a deep gorge. Time slows down here. There are no tourist buses, no busy cafes, just ancient stone, soft wind, and the echo of your own footsteps. These pedestrian paradises show us something important. Sometimes the best travel tips aren't about what to do, but what not to bring. No cars, no rush, no expectations, just a willingness to walk, wander, and wonder. Europe's most enchanting villages don't just charm the eyes, they seduce the palate. In San Gimignano, Italy, you'll find Vernaccia, a crisp white wine praised since the Middle Ages. Paired with pecorino and truffle pasta under a sunset sky, it becomes a full sensory journey. Over in Grimmins, Switzerland, there's glacier wine aging for decades in cellars carved into the Alps. It's not just wine, it's heritage in a bottle. But the magic isn't only in the wine. It's in freshly baked bread from a wood-fired oven, in mountain cheese aged by monks, and in stews that warm your soul on a cold alpine night. Want to elevate your experience? Visit a local market. Ask vendors what's in season, and follow their recommendations. You'll eat like royalty without breaking the bank. Europe's villages are living museums, and their architecture is pure poetry in stone. Mont Saint-Michel in France rises like a dream from the sea, its abbey spiraling toward the sky. Oya in Santorini dazzles with blue-domed churches and whitewashed homes perched on volcanic cliffs, especially at sunset. In the Czech Republic, Telči welcomes visitors with a Renaissance square so perfect it looks digitally rendered. Whether your heart beats for Gothic, Baroque, or Cycladic styles, you'll find masterpieces tucked into every corner of these hidden gems. Some places feel made for reflection, and creativity follows. Sintra is one of them, set among misty hills, its palaces pulled from fantasy novels. Tossa de Mar on Spain's Costa Brava blends coastal serenity with medieval flair, inspiring artists and travelers alike. These aren't just places to visit, they're places to feel, the kind that stir something inside you that had been asleep. Maybe it's time to start that book you've been postponing, or just sit still and let silence do the talking. There's something about water that brings clarity and charm. St. Ives in Cornwall, England mixes ocean breeze with artistic energy, while Portree in Scotland's Isle of Skye is a breathtaking port town hugged by emerald hills and painted cottages. Waterfront villages offer more than a view, they offer rhythm. The tide becomes your clock, the gulls your soundtrack. You wake up early, walk more slowly, and notice more. The color of the sky, the shape of a wave, the laughter of a child chasing a crab. The best journeys often require effort. Gimmelwald, high in the Swiss Alps, has no cars, just footpaths, wooden homes, and the sound of cowbells echoing through valleys. Flommen, Norway greets you with waterfalls, fjords, and one of the world's most scenic train rides. The journey there is half the magic. Reaching these remote villages isn't always convenient, but that's exactly why they're so rewarding. With every bend in the trail or rail, you shed noise, speed, and stress. These are places where time expands, where conversations are long, and where Wi-Fi isn't missed. So now that you've seen these fairytale towns, the hidden European gems most people scroll past without even knowing, ask yourself, what's stopping you from making one of them your next escape? You don't need a luxury budget or a 6-month sabbatical. What you need is intention, a willingness to trade crowded cities for cobblestone calm, noise for nature, selfies for soul. What if your next trip wasn't about checking boxes, but about changing perspective? Which of these villages would you visit first? Why not start planning today? Let this guide be more than inspiration. Let it be a spark. Bookmark a place, share it with a friend, or start a conversation. Tell us, what kind of destination speaks to your heart? Do you crave coastal views, medieval legends, mountain serenity, or all of it mixed into one unforgettable journey? And if this video opened your eyes to the magic of small towns in Europe, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because there's so much more coming your way. More travel tips, more hidden gems, more reasons to fall in love with the world all over again.